Hey, it's your girl, Miss Trina with Chat with Trina. And I want to thank you so much for making the choice to click in tonight. And tonight also kicks off my month of Black Love, Making Love Work, featuring Trevis and Janine Guidry, otherwise known as Going Guidry.
My first couple, they're newlyweds. Yay, congrats. They are going Guidry. When I saw your email, I was like, that's right. So congratulations on your marriage. I'm very excited for both of you. You deserve all the happiness in the world. How did you guys meet?
I'll let you have it.
Okay. On a hot summer day, and we met actually through our dance community. We're both dancers, and we met at the ISDC in May of 2015. That's where I first laid eyes on my beautiful wife. Now, just light introduction through mutual friends and things of that nature. It was all good. So that's where we met.
Had you seen each other? You've seen each other around though.
Not at that time.
Really? No. That's crazy. Because I
know that goes after the meeting, then you start seeing each other around more often, with different dance events. And at the time I was living in Dallas. He was here in Houston. So we hadn't had the opportunity to frequent each other before that.
Yeah, we had, even after we met at ISDC, we didn't instantly start communicating or anything like that. The only time we would really see each other if he came to Houston for an event, or I would go to Dallas for an event, and I just knew him as one of the perfect gentlemen. That was
it. You guys had a long distance relationship or courtship. How did y'all make that work? Did y'all set some boundaries? Did you set rules? How did you make that work?
So we started dating in 18.
I would say late 17, around October 17.
Late October in 2017. For me, it was really hard. I would say on the mindset of, there were times when I couldn't even see myself dating. I lived in Katy, and if somebody lived in Spring, that was out of town. I was like, I ain't dating that person there in Spring. So for he and I to begin dating, and he lived in a totally different city, I was like, oh, I don't know. But it worked. I think, I wouldn't say we had boundaries, but we did he was very, very, very good. Once I explained to him my doubts of dating long distance, he was very good in securing my need for communication. That was the biggest thing. Even if we would talk daily about our day, at the end of the day, even if as if we lived in the same house. So at the end of each day, once we both made it home and wind down, we would have time to get on the phone and talk about our day or talk about whatever. And the biggest part for me was his ability to communicate, not just his desire to, but his ability to get on. He's a talker, he knows it. So he was able to get on the phone and carry a conversation, and he was concerned.
That is so big. Being able to carry a conversation, my goodness, that is a big deal. I can get I agree on that.
And I think that's really what made it work for me. Just because I'm a in-person, I'm an in-your-face type person. And so I was like, well, what if we want to go to the movies, and we got to plan that months ahead of time, this movie coming out, so let's go. But we did, and it worked. We planned our time. We maximized
moments. Yeah, that was something I was going to piggyback on. And like Janine said, what she talked about for me, it was about the communication factor. And it's funny, we're starting to even think more alike as we continue to grow in this relationship, in this wedding, in this marriage. I'm sorry, but she said we didn't have boundaries, so to speak, but the communication was a great factor. She was very outspoken about her thoughts and things of that nature, and that allowed me to be able to know where I was in wanting to continue to pursue. Also, the fact that I like to, without throwing out our age out there, I feel like we're both at a stage of, we're both seasoned.
Definitely.
meaning from a maturity standpoint, to be able to take on a relationship long distance, which actually Houston to Dallas really isn't that long of a distance when you think
The
about
way
it.
our dance community act, they act like that's down the street.
Right. But in the sense of, being in the same city, or when trouble arises, or when something unfavorable happens, to be able to handle that aspect as well. So the fact that we were at a great maturity level and seasoning level helped out as well.
That would definitely be true. That's a good point about the age. Because that's something that I ask people too when they do get married at a seasoned age, more seasoned age. Sometimes you've kind of got all that stuff visual out and you know what you really and truly want. How long did you date before the proposal?
How long did we date before the proposal? I would say at least almost 2 years.
Okay.
Almost 2 years, about a year and 10 months or something like that. A year and 8 months.
So was there an actual getting down on the knee?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes, there was.
I like those stories.
I feel like I knew that she was the one when I was able to, not even have a reservation about bringing her into my environment, not only in Dallas, where I was living for the past 18 years, but also in my home, with my family at home. And when, I thought it before, but then when I brought her there, that almost like solidified.
Yeah.
And that happened.
I'm sorry.
I'm from Lafayette, Louisiana.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you were from Dallas. Okay.
No, I'm from Lafayette, and Janine is from New Orleans.
Both of y'all are from Louisiana. Okay.
Louisiana love. Yes, indeed.
That is too funny. I did not know that.
Yes.
But yes, that's when, I can say that I knew that she was the one. And just the way that I was moving or not moving in Dallas. Okay. Moving and not moving.
Moving and grooving.
Yeah. My boys, they were like, you know what? Yeah, Trev, you're moving different. You're doing things different.
And people can tell.
Oh, absolutely.
Just like I knew he was the one when my calls were not answered. He would, even if he had to answer the phone to say, babe, I gotta call you right back. When he would, the same guy who he's more of a homebody than I am. So when I saw him finding pockets of time to make his way to Houston, or pockets of time for me to come up there. When he started making moves like that, I was like, okay, yeah, this guy is he is the one.
What attracted you the most about Trevis, Janine? Was that pretty much it, him being able to communicate and reserve the time for you?
That, as well as his character, his values, and his love for family. Okay. All those are important because I come with a lot of family. So just seeing how he loved and cared about his relationship with his mother was important to me. That was a big factor that he and his mom talked on a regular basis. He made trips every so often to Lafayette to make sure he got that time with his mom. So yeah, that was important.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Trevis, was what attracted you to her?
One of the things that attracted me the most, of course, the first thing is always looking at the physical, just the smile, the eyes, those types of things. Also, she's the most excellent hugger in the whole wide world. So I can live with the love from the hugs that she puts out, because she's an excellent hugger. But also on top of that, just her drive. And she mentioned the relationship with my mom. She's a single mother. I grew up in a single parent environment as well. And just her strength. She's not only lived, but she has conquered in a lot of areas while still continuing to accept and, be strong with challenges. Definitely. That is an attractive feature to me, because she's a very strong woman, and she's done it all of this time, without me being here.
Right.
So it'll be even better with us being together as a unit. So that factor of her and her strength was very attractive to me.
How does it feel to be able to let go Because we as women, oftentimes we take it all in, we work, we gotta do. How does it feel to be able to trust someone to just let go sometimes?
Sometimes I still pinch myself. I'm like, perfect example. Usually my mind, what's for dinner tonight? You got to go to the store to get it. You got to get home and cook it. You have to do that. Well, I was able to text my husband today, what's for dinner tonight? Because we got the call and we have this and this. And via text, we figured it all out. He said, I'm going to stop at the grocery. I'll get the things. So I walk in, all the stuff is already in the kitchen, ready. So when we finish, I just get to go in there and cook it and we eat. And it amazes me that God has blessed me so much that I have a partner that only can do what I ask or need, but is willing, like, I mean, wholeheartedly willing to do it because he loves me.
Yes.
Not just for me to say, oh, babe, thank you. He does it first out of love for me.
That's really good.
Absolutely amazing.
Did we get blessings from the children? Did you tell them first you were going to propose? How did that go?
That's a great question because I did. My bonus babies, like Janine likes to call them, bonus children, are at a mature stage in their lives. They're older. So it's kind of, in that, I guess, quote unquote, millennial stage right now. So it's like, they won't say much, it's good. But when I reach out to them and talk to them each individually, I'll get well, as long as she's happy, I'm happy thing and all of that stuff. And even after the wedding, the oldest son, Jarrell, we've had a lot of, more in-depth conversations, man to man, and things of that nature, as well as Javante, the youngest, but he's in school right now, so we don't see, we're not in communication with him as much. But those conversations are awesome, and that's so. Your original question was about getting blessings. I did ask each of them, or let them know my intent, and I got the, we're not like
got the thumbs up.
Yeah, whatever, but I got the thumbs up, but they're like, yeah, you make her happy, so if she's happy, we're happy, so yes, all good.
And I'll answer that, Trina. I knew that he had their blessings when he planned a surprise trip here to see me, and it was because it wasn't Christmas.
It was Christmas.
It was one of I was having emotional moments, as I tend to do, about Christmas coming and he and I not being together for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
And so I had kind of shared that with him. I was like, I don't know, I'm excited about the holiday. I'm excited about family, but I'm sad that you and I won't get to be together for the holiday. And he planned with me not knowing anything. He communicated with my children and my grandmother. And I think my daughter reached out and was like, Mom, let's just go to dinner. I don't even remember how they tricked me into going to dinner. But
she said she was getting dinner.
Oh yeah. She was like, I just want to treat the family to dinner. And I was like, okay. And I knew I was like, she treating all of us, but she had just gotten a new job. So I was like, okay, honey, feeling herself. So
right.
We're going to dinner.
We're gonna let her do her thing.
Exactly. And we go to dinner, and as we're getting in and we walking toward the table, who stands up and turns around and gives me this big smile and this huge hug? And I was like, what are you doing here? But Trina, the part about it is, leading up to dinner, I had called him and we chatting on the phone. And I'm like, what you doing? He was like, oh, I'm at the grocery store. And home from the grocery store doing all this. Because was it a weekday?
Yeah, it was a weekday.
It was a weekday, a Thursday. So he drove after work all the way from Dallas to Katy, Texas, made it to the restaurant. We got there. There he is to surprise me. And not only was he there, but then he brought gifts. And he was like, I know this is not Christmas Day, but I wanted us to have some, inkling of our own Christmas. We're gonna have dinner. I have bought everybody some gifts, and I just want to have my version of Christmas with my future family. So I was like, you know what? He went.
He's a keeper. You knew he was a keeper that day. You're good. We're going to get Travis to give a class, a workshop.
Nah, I don't know about all that.
Get the dance workshop. ISDC next year. We're going to have Travis giving the workshop.
A gentleman's class.
There you go. How did y'all decide what type of wedding you were going to have?
Well, that's a good question. And I'll start off there with, for me, in my mind, the wedding is about the bride. Whatever the bride wants, that's what we're going to do.
Right.
But we did have one commonality because the planning stages happened. I was still living in Dallas at the time. Mm-hmm. So a lot of planning, most of it happened before I even moved here. But we both definitely agreed. We both love water. We love the water. And I know that my wife is an outdoor nature lover. I like it inside more cool and things of that nature. But the water, I can roll with. So like if we do something that way, yeah, I'm good. So that was put into place, and then everything kind of just the puzzle pieces started fitting in from there. I'll let you elaborate more if you like on
it. Definitely. I initially wanted to do a destination wedding. I did want to do that, but we had to keep in mind our older family that we wanted to make sure were there and present and sharing in that moment. So on the water in Galveston was destination enough.
Yeah.
So we made it work. We knew I knew I didn't want a huge bridal party. I just felt with age, let's just make it more about our actual union and family and friends being there to celebrate with us.
Right.
Because the bigger the bridal party, the more the way my mind set up, I couldn't do the half.
You'd have been eloping. I've always heard, don't go to bed angry. Matter of fact, when I got married, that's what they told me. Don't go to bed angry. So do you guys agree with this? Have you perfected, well, I'm not going to ask you, have you perfected communication in your family? Because we've already talked about that. But do y'all agree with that? Not going to bed angry?
Absolutely.
Yes.
We absolutely. And it's funny because, Janine, I don't know where you got it from, but we have something in our bedroom and it says, kiss me before we go to kiss me goodnight.
Always kiss me goodnight.
Or something like that. It's like a little thing to put on the wall and whatnot. We have that. But we definitely agree with the not going to bed angry thing. We definitely, you're never going to perfect that. I don't think you'll ever be able to perfect anything like that, but we definitely strive for it.
Yeah. Try not to go too far with having some issue to get that worked out.
And he's a night owl. I'm a morning person. So I'm typically in bed before him, and he knows if I'm going to sleep, he'll make sure he comes in the room and give me my kiss goodnight before he goes back into the game room and watch his sports TV and stuff like that. So, and we definitely agree with that. Never going to bed angry. And I will say that he has helped me improve my communication about whatever I'm feeling. Yeah. So if I'm feeling something, it feels so good to just be able to say, babe, let's talk about something.
Yeah.
And not be afraid of the backlash of saying
absolutely
something.
Right. Absolutely. And that works both ways because she's helped me in that area as well, because with me being as single as this is the one and only marriage that I'm gonna have. But in my age, and I've lived by myself, I've been a bachelor for forever.
Yeah.
So I keep a lot of things internalized. So me adapting to my new family environment that has allowed me to continue to work on my communication or communicating more effectively and more efficiently and more timely.
And then having a lot of people around you all the time, more people around you all the time, right?
Absolutely.
Did you bring all your stuff down here, Travis? Did y'all just put Martin had an episode with him and Gina moved in together and they all tried to decide what they were gonna keep. Did y'all have that issue?
Well, you know what? Yeah, we on a few things because I'm sitting in our in the area of the house that we like to socialize in, and I'm looking at a bar stool set that my wife was like, I don't want this. We're not gonna do this. We didn't have a vision for it. So it was almost like we're not going, no, this gotta go somewhere. And with the help of a couple of friends, we actually found a perfect spot for it, and
Okay.
it's in use. So yeah, I
And
brought
I was
all
able to
out,
keep it.
but there was also a huge purge.
Okay.
There was also a huge purge, which actually Janine helped me with. Before I moved over, she came over in Dallas when I packed up everything, and some things I was like, I got to do that because I can tend to be a small bit of a pack rat with some things. No, I'm not gonna do that. I was about to say something, but I was about to. No, that's all right. I'll tell you about it now.
Janine,
I'll
did you have to
tell her,
make
but I
him
can't
throw
tell
anything
you.
away? Did you have to
I
make
can
him
tell
throw
my
anything
wife,
away?
but I can't tell y'all.
Oh yeah, because everybody will see it and we'll know. But
But yeah,
somebody
there
at
was
the next event, somebody's gonna ask you. You know that, right?
True. And I may be able to speak on it then, but we're not
You
right
can
now.
whisper. You can whisper it to them.
Yeah, I could do that. But yeah, there was a purge process that happened, and
But
it happened, it
I
worked out.
think it was a purge process, and the moment, like when we put everything in the U-Haul and that door went down, I was like, this is happening.
How did you decide to come to Houston versus you going to Dallas?
I have a
I know it. Yeah.
I have a running, not joke because it was factual, but I have a running thing that worked out in the deal with our job situations at the time. I was able to have the, knock on wood, fluidity to be able to move and transition from Dallas to Houston. Of course, with the pandemic, a lot of people at the stage that was happening were working from home, and just apples to apples, it came down to, at the time, I was like, okay, job wise, I might make a few more dollars, but benefit wise, she makes a whole lot more sense. If that means anything to folks that are in relationships with benefits and dealing with things, they may know what I'm talking about or where it's going. But I kind of stated that way, and then also just the flexibility. You have placement with kids in school at the time, and that type of situation. And honestly, me moving from Dallas to Houston, I'm actually closer to my hometown of Lafayette, so that was a bonus as well.
Okay.
And that was it.
No, that wasn't
for me.
Wife don't like cold weather.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Wife does not like. Oh my goodness.
So that was a big factor too.
It was a huge factor because the thought of just being there, knowing what their winters are like, it gave me anxiety. Our in-laws, my in-laws, my mother-in-law, sister-in-law, and father-in-law, everybody has just been absolutely awesome, wonderful. And his mom has always, she'll tell me, she was like, I know I can never replace your mom. My mom passed when I was 9. And she was like, I know I can never replace your mother, but I'm your mother, I love you like my daughter and everything. So that has just been absolutely wonderful. It's been God sent.
Yes.
And he has inherited the most, I think, when it comes to in-laws. But to answer the first part of your question, when it comes to he and I are marrying each other, that is definitely the approach we take. We make sure that our conversations regarding household decisions, our marriage, our money, everything takes place either in our home office or in our bedroom, because that's our discussions. That's what the things we need to take care of as a unit and bring to God.
Amen.
He, myself, and God. That's it. That's all we stuff.
It's all y'all need.
And we're definitely on this, same page with that. And it's crazy because people are maybe undervalue the importance of marriage counseling, because that was a great avenue for us in our development before getting married and getting to that point, especially with the distance thing. We started it out, before I moved. You know,
Okay.
our
Great idea.
pastor that officiated our service, he actually was willing and open to Zooming with us, and we started our marriage counseling that way. And it was funny when I moved over, and the first time he saw us on the Zoom together
in the
I
same
went to
room.
Janine's place before we got to our residence. He was like, hold on, what's going
Y'all in
on?
the same room.
But yeah, so all of that, ties into the fact of the question that you asked about the in-laws, and like Janine said, I inherited. But when, my perception of the question, when you think in-laws, of course, you're thinking my parents and her parents, and like she stated, her parents are no longer with us, but I have inherited, my brother-in-law, my grandmother, and the kids. It's been awesome.
Good.
But yes, we've had, definitely date nights, because that was the strength of our relationship,
Definitely.
the maximizing moments.
Yeah.
So I was always, every time she came to Dallas, I'm like, we're gonna do this, and this. We had like 3 dates in a visit.
Were y'all exhausted on Monday and Tuesday though? After the weekend, you spent the whole weekend doing stuff?
Well, not for me, because it depends on who drove. Like if I drove there, I would be like, oh, the dreaded drive. But he doesn't mind. He doesn't mind doing the highway drive. But when it comes to now being married within the same household, we still do date night. And today just happens to be our anniversary. 4 whole months. 4 months.
And you're celebrating on Chat with Trina. See that? See how we do it?
And so I think the last few months on the anniversary, we've gone on a date, gone to dinner and stuff like that. And with that being said, I'm also a simple girl. So he knows I love looking at new subdivisions and developments and houses and open houses and looking at, a master plan subdivision. He knows I love that type of stuff.
And HGTV.
Yes. And just looking at how other people gardening in their front of their house and stuff. So one Saturday morning, he's like, come on, let's take a ride. We get in the car. We go to this newer subdivision not too far from us. And he was like, I rode through here and I thought about my baby would like to see this. And it's a master plan community. And he drove me all around and I was looking at everything. And I said, oh, my baby took me on a date.
That's what you enjoy. You know what's funny when you say that, it makes me think so much. I think about it a lot that men don't realize that. I don't think they don't realize it's the simple things. It's a lot of women. I don't need all that. You can do one little thing that I just enjoy. And that I like that might be a little weird. Not that yours weird. I have some weird things. I like buildings. I like the buildings downtown. I like to see the sizes and the shapes and stuff. And that's simple things. Yeah, so that's cool.
Yes.
I'm glad I'm not the only person with a with that. That makes me feel so much better.
Yeah, just like that one thing that is just like that is exciting to me that somebody else will probably be like, really?
Yeah. And I even hesitate when I'll be like, oh my God, do you see that building? I hadn't seen that building before. And they like, okay. So
and hey, I guess part of that success goes along with the long distance relationship. And that's just for folks that are out there that may be in long distance relationships, because when you end that, you're forced to, not that you don't want to, but you're forced to have to tune in. You have to tune in, and you have to, like Janine just said, be creative. I'm listening to this and we have this in a conversation, and then all of a sudden it'll appear in some way, shape, or form down the line. I keep it in my mental Rolodex and operate off of that. So that, that definitely helps. And then the fact that you want to do it, I want to do it as well.
Yeah.
And y'all know also with the long distance, you guys said when you talk about communication, it makes you have to that's all you have, because between the distance, so you have to listen, you have to talk. So you actually probably know each other more than you would even if you would have been in the same city. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. I
totally agree with that. I think we can both tell when the other one is off, when something's bothering them. Or something is on the other one's mind, whether it's something that one of us did to each other, whether it's something that happened within our day at work or whatever, we can both tune in to be like, okay, babe, what's going on? You seem a little off.
Definitely.
Yes, she's absolutely correct about that.
A friend of mine had their birthday / anniversary celebration this past weekend. The husband and the wife both turned 65. The husband in January, the wife in February, and then they got married on Valentine's Day. So this past weekend, they had their celebration, and she had asked us, she said, would y'all mind dancing after our first dance? And she said, just, hopefully after you all dance, the guests will be more,
to get up and
ready to move.
Up and ready to move and stuff. So she got on the mic and she was like, me and my husband gonna dance, but after that, because they went married 18 years.
Yeah, 16,
18,
I think 16.
Yeah, 16. And then she asked in the crowd who else, the other years, like more. And there was one couple, I think might have been 35 years.
Wow.
She was like, that's so beautiful. She said, and we're gonna have a couple that's only been married 3 whole months.
That's
to come up and dance for you all. So we did.
We're talking about dancing, and I asked this question to everybody. If you're dancers, are you both comfortable with each other dancing with others?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, well, for me, it's like you have to be, if we're in this relationship, because we've seen it. We can both speak of the horror stories that we've seen with people's relationships deteriorating behind the dance community or the factor of it, or back in my days in Dallas, the early days, I've known a lot of people who like that was their hobby. It was either the husband's hobby or it was the woman's the wife's hobby, and like that was her thing. And her husband didn't go out dance because he wouldn't be able to handle it and all that stuff. But I'm like,
it's so sad.
Yeah, and I think it's a couple of elements to that. So we both were doing it separately without knowing each other already. So I think that was good for us because I think when you come into it together, even if you come in it together as a couple, sometimes one partner may flourish in the dance more than the other. And so then the other person is kind of like, oh, you trying to be fancy, you showing off or whatever.
Right.
Or you have the scenario like husband said was you have one that's into it and the spouse is not for whatever reason. And so then it becomes more of you out there in the club with these other people. So I think we had an advantage that we both already had a separate love for the same hobby.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yes, we
Definitely
both already had a love for the dance, not for the,
we gotta find something to do together.
Yes, finding something and trying to make it work because we're trying to do this together.
Right.
So I think that contributed a lot for us. So we came into it being experienced in the dance and knowing what we weren't trying to find in the dance. So we were able to just continue to enjoy it as a couple now.
I'm gonna jump forward on that one because I'm gonna be honest, the pandemic changed my life for the better. The pandemic may have been, honestly, in a crazy sounding kind of way, that may have been the best thing that ever happened to me.
I thought that was the best thing.
Look at you.
She trying to get me, y'all.
Love it.
She trying to get me, y'all, but she know exactly what I'm talking about.
She tried.
She tried to get me, so you see how I ever just kind of let that bounce off.
I saw you just let it bounce right on off.
Yeah. But yes, you are, baby. But I mean that in a sense because the pandemic forced me to assert myself in areas that I had left just stagnant, both personally, professionally, and in this relationship. So for me, the pandemic was great. I kind of reprioritized things that I was doing. Not being out as much allowed me to save more money and do some other things personally that you always want to do. Any man would want to do before he proposes to, or any person would do before they want to propose to anyone. Because it is never a right or wrong answer, never a right or wrong time.
Yeah.
Just like with having a family, having kids, and things of that nature. There's no science to it, but for everyone's going to have their own individual case. And for me, the pandemic made me move a little bit differently and strengthen myself to a point where I was ready to get down on that knee, because I knew before I did it but the pandemic helped propel me to get there.
Yeah.
And yes, it did. During the pandemic, because of the work from home situation, we were able to spend the most the longest stretch of time together under one roof, because again, we were dating long distance and we both had our jobs. So it's, unless we quote unquote took vacation a week or whatever at a time, we wouldn't be together for more than maybe 3 nights.
Right.
Yeah.
So during the pandemic, I was able to pack up this computer, my laptop, and my ring light, and all my things. And I went, and I, what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2.5 weeks. I
2.5
think was the longest
weeks.
stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that happened a couple of times.
Yes.
You know, 2 or 3 times where we were able to do that.
Yeah, so that allowed me to kind of be in his space and to see his daily routines without him verbalizing it to me on our at
Right. Yeah.
And he the same with me. We were able to kind of understand each other's daily routine and our life under the same roof together. So that was a great experience for us going into our future engagement. So our honeymoon was just
amazing.
Literally.
Awesome.
I was talking about it to a friend of mine today. It was more than I even expected it or hoped it would be.
Yeah.
Now, you know, when you think about your honeymoon, you have high hopes for your honeymoon. So if it was more than I could hope for, that gives you an idea of how fantastic our honeymoon was.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yes. We enjoyed our honeymoon. We did everything we thought we wanted to do. If we thought we wanted to do it, we did it. It was no limitations on that time we spent together. And I think that was the best part, is doing it with my best friend, my husband, and having no limits on the amount of fun we had.
Yeah, it got to a point where, you know, you said, you know what, we don't know when we're going to get back here. Let's stay a few more nights. And we did that.
Yeah.
So we extended it as well.
This is my favorite part. I get to laugh. All right.
Good?
Yes. Are y'all ready?
Yes.
And you just point at the person who it is. When I ask who snores the loudest, you point at who you think it is. There you go. Okay. Who initiated the first kiss? Who apologizes first after an argument? Okay. Who's the funny one? Who's more romantic? Okay. Who texts or calls the other most? Who's the most patient? Okay. I'm gonna see about this one. Who is the better cook? Oh, okay. Who said I love you first? Okay. Who takes longer to get dressed when going somewhere? Who's the most spontaneous? So y'all are up. Okay. Who's grumpier in the morning? I think you already said that. Okay. Who's more stubborn? Okay. Who spends the most money? My favorite question here is, who's the bigger baby when they're sick? Who's the social butterfly? Okay. Probably the both. Is it a tie, you think?
Say that again?
Is it a tie, maybe?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we both,
Okay. Who is the messier one, meaning cleanliness? Like, I throw my clothes all over the floor. Okay. Both of y'all blaming each other, just FYI. So I got a big one for you. Saints or Cowboys?
Cowboys.
I answered first. Saints.
Who won the game?
Briefly, give us a few thoughts of what you think is a way to a successful, long-lasting relationship?
Okay.
Definitely trust, number one. Communication, number two. The love is always going to be there. And you know what? Like my wife said in her vows, loving each other more. When I say I love you, she'll say I love you more.
Aw.
And you know, there's something that means that she shared with
And
me in the vows,
yeah.
and it's, you know,
And
more than anything.
yeah.
So
So when I said in our vows, I told him that I'll love you more than any argument. I'll love you more than any sickness, that either I'll love you more than being financially broke. I'll love you more than whatever we come through, that we can get through any of it. We
Yeah.
can get through any of it. And one of the things we did in our marriage counseling, we came up with 7 C's for our marriage, and they were Christ, communication, copulate. What else we got?
price, communication, copulate. Give me a second. Compromise.
Yes.
Nice.
He gonna always remember more than me. He has the memory I don't. But we came up with our 7 C's.
Mhm.
And we had decided that we're gonna get them to be appliques to be able to put
Yeah.
on the wall to remind us of why we
Definitely.
fell in love with each other.
Mhm.
And one of the things he said about one of his past relationships
Mhm.
is that he thought he loved that person, but over time he realized that he didn't like some things about him.
Mhm.
And so that's did I say that right? Yeah, that's
Mhm.
one of the things you have to realize. You have to fall in love with somebody you like.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to like them.
Absolutely.
So you have to like them in the morning. You have to like them at night. You have to like them when they stink the bathroom up. You have to like them when they're not in a good mood.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to like them when
Yeah.
they're sick. You have to like the person before you can ever
As
be
a whole person.
Exactly.
the whole person.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Even the bad things about them, or the things that irritate you, I should say.
Yeah.
Even those
Yeah.
things, you have to understand that I like you beyond that. And liking that person will allow you to love them through anything.
Amen.
What advice would you give a couple considering a long distance relationship?
Know what you can and cannot handle. Or know what you can and cannot handle, and communicate those things.
Right.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, and understand with the long distance relationship, once again, seasoning is important, but are we dating with intent here? That's going to need to be,
That's huge.
understood early on.
Yes.
That's going to need to be understood early on, or communicated early on.
Mhm.
Then that way you both know what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because if dating locally is you can kind of like date and be like, okay, well, it didn't work, and you'll find you somebody else. But when you're investing more time when you're dating long distance, you're investing more time and more money.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, for him, he was a bachelor. So when I would go to Dallas, which that's another good thing to share.
Mhm.
When I would visit him, because he was a single man, I could stay at his house when I visited him. But when he would have to come to Houston, he would have to get a hotel. So as we grew into our relationship and realized where we wanted it to go and what we were going to do and our intentions for each other, I had to understand that, okay, I'm gonna have to make the sacrifice of time to go there more often for us to not spend as much money. Because not only was he coming here, he had to get a hotel, then we're dating. So now we're buying a dinner and we going to a movie, or we going to a concert.
A concert that costs $500.
Right. So you have to understand
Definitely.
those things. Both parties have to understand and look to figure out, okay, I love this person enough to realize that one of us gonna have to compromise more than the other on whatever. especially like, for us, that's what it was. I knew that I was going to have to do more traveling to him. And then when
I would have never thought about that. That is, that is definitely a good point. I want to thank y'all for opening up and being so transparent and honest. Those are the best chats I have. You're gonna say something?
We thank you for the opportunity. It is funny because we didn't really talk about it much going into it. It's really been pretty unscripted.
And I love that.
Off the dome. We didn't want to try to pre-think and predetermine answers and things of that nature.
Because we didn't even watch a lot of the video because we wanted it to be more natural.
It's more fun that way. Yeah. And I try to, you wouldn't believe how many people have asked, can you send me the questions first? And if they really push, I will, but it's just so cool. Even some of the questions I didn't ask because you said things that I was able to just change up, which makes the interview or the chat, I just say chat, that scares people off. The chat more interesting.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for your love story. I really appreciate it. The why I would like to do this one is because I'm getting my checklist together, y'all. I'm getting my checklist. I'm 52. I got to get these tips, but no, it helps other people, believe it or not, to know that there is still a such thing as love. It is. It's out there. There are some good men and there are some good women. We bash a little bit sometimes because we've been hurt or whatever. But at the end of the day, y'all, I want everybody to know that there's an opportunity for love. Long distance love works. And I want to say one thing. If you don't mind, I want to gift you a book. My friend Sherry Banks Ellis, she got married after 40. There were no books. There were nothing for her. So she wrote a book called Married After 40, How to Have a Loving Relationship When Getting Married After 40. I don't know how y'all are, but I'm just saying. But it's an awesome book.
I'm 46, right? I'll be 47. I'll be 47 in July.
And I'll be 51.
So this is an excellent book. It talks about putting finances together, blending. It's just a lot that she couldn't find out on the internet. So she wrote a book. So I will text me your address.
Okay.
And I'm going to gift that to y'all for being on the show.
We appreciate that.
Thank you. And I'll see.
I was going to say, it's so funny. And thank you for thinking of us and inviting us. And it just so happened that you, like Janine said earlier, you caught us on our anniversary date. So
I know. And that's right. And happy, is it third month or fourth month? Fourth month. Okay. Because you was at the dance for the third month.
Yes.
Happy 4th month anniversary, y'all. And I want to say to everybody, thank y'all for making the choice to click in. I know this was the first time some of you clicked in and tuned in, so I hope that I can have your support and you will click in again. You can go to my channel, youtube.com/chatwithtrina. I need subscribers, y'all. Thank you, Janine, for subscribing. I saw that. I need subscribers, people. Only need 500. So go on and subscribe. And if you have any small business on Tuesdays, I have Talk About It Tuesdays. So this is a platform for small businesses, events, all of the above. That's what I do. Hope to see y'all joining me sometimes on Wednesdays or Tuesdays. Janine and Trevis, thank y'all so much again. You are a lovely couple and blessings to your future. And I'll see you on the dance floor.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That was so much fun. Thank you, Janine and Trevis, so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. And your story is so cute. I just love y'all. Blessings, happy anniversary, and many, many more. Guys, thank you for making the choice to click in to chat with Trina in my month of love and Black history. I really appreciate your support. Don't forget to go to youtube.com/chatwithtrina. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Bye, and thank you for clicking in to Chat with Trina.